welcome. You're watching Traders Next Door. I'm Edgar Kartashabe, and you're about to hear the Daily Scoop. Now, the markets are looking to set up for December, and here's what you need to know about it. Now, historically, December has been very strong for the US markets, and with all this talk of a soft landing from the Fed, that is keeping a lot of optimism alive for the US dollar. The Fed also leaning towards more easing monetary policy versus a tightening monetary policy is looking like it's going to keep the US dollar very resilient up until the end of 2024. However, if inflation were to rebound, the first signs of which we are going to see in the next coming weeks, with NFP coming out this Friday, this might shift the Fed's current stance, and we would hear about that on the 18th of December come FOMC. So a lot of key data is going to be coming out now, between now and then, which is going to set the pace to see if historical trends are going to remain true now at the end of 2024. There is a lot of talk about what's going to happen with Donald Trump coming into office next year. If the current rate cuts we've had have been properly placed in the markets. But overall, there is a lot of optimism in the US dollar right now, and we've seen that post itself in the markets with a large bullish rally from the US dollar. The US dollar has broke out of multi-year ranges and is heavily towards the bull side. But we're not quite out of the woods yet. A lot can still happen in the next coming weeks, but most analysts agree that it's looking really good for the US dollar. So us as traders, looking for dollar strength is going to be the trend up until this year is done, and likely into next year as well. If Donald Trump's reign as president is anything like his first reign, then the dollar is going to look to remain strong for a long while. Pivoting on to Donald Trump news. Donald Trump and BRICS are currently in a heated tussle. This right now is a geopolitical hotspot. BRICS, if you don't know, is the alliance that currently consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Their main goal is to de-dollarize trade between their nations by using a common currency that is backed against gold. This is their plan, and Donald Trump is having none of it. Donald Trump put out a tweet saying that if the BRICS nations were to go through with their plans of de-dollarization, he is going to impose a 100% tariff on those nations' trade, effectively destabilizing all the trade that they have with the US and the dollar, and permanently sending ripple effects across the entire global economy. This is especially going to hit the rest of us because China's trade with the US heavily impacts a lot of the goods and services that we currently rely on, especially in the tech sector. So if he was to go through with this, it's going to severely impact the global economy. However, if BRICS backs down, this is going to send a very sharp message to the rest of the world that Donald Trump and the US dollar are not to be trifled with, and it might dissuade any other nations from coming up with a similar plan. So right now, there's a lot of tension in the situation, and we don't really know who is going to blink first. Now, if Donald Trump stays true to his word, these tariffs are likely going to increase the dollar's strength significantly, bolstering the US dollar as a global powerhouse and cementing it that it's probably going to stay a global powerhouse into the long-term future. However, if the BRICS nations decide that even with these 100% tariffs, they still feel like the de-dollarization path is still worth it for them, and they want to strengthen international trade within their own borders, this would severely negatively impact the US dollar and would also serve as a stark example to the rest of the world that the dollar might be losing its reign as the top currency in the world. So whichever of these two scenarios plays out, it's going to add a lot of complexity into the market, and it's going to shake things up quite drastically. So we're going to have to be on the lookout, watch the headlines, watch the news, and take this as a play-by-play. Currently, the BRICS nations have not put out a statement addressing Donald Trump's statements, so it's left to be seen what hand they're going to play. But come Donald Trump's inauguration and sworn into office next year, things are going to get very spicy very quickly. So this is what's currently out there. Still an ongoing situation. We're still left to be seen how it's going to play out, but whichever way it plays out, you can be guaranteed that it's going to cause a lot of volatility in the markets. The tweet alone that Donald Trump put out saw gold fall quite drastically in the minutes after that tweet. It's since rallied back somewhat, but that's the power of Donald Trump and how he operates. Simple tweets that he tweets out can severely impact the market. So come his inauguration next year, volatile times are ahead, and it is going to cause a lot of opportunity for a lot of traders. And if you're looking at taking advantage of those opportunities, you can go ahead and use the code FISA for 35% off a Vault Funder challenge. Go ahead, purchase challenge, pause phase 1, pause phase 2, become funded, and start making money off the plentiful opportunities that are lying in wait. I've been Ed Katashabe. This has been Traders Next Door, and you have heard the Daily Scoop.